So I can't hear you, dear. My wife is in here staining, and here come the helpers. This ferocious watchdog is Roscoe, and that's his mother, Dory. And you notice the black on her side. She has a little skin condition, but she's getting a little better. But these are the other two boxers. You've seen Ethel a few times in the videos. So these are the other two. This is our helper. He thinks he knows how to help. So we're putting my wife's putting the second coat of stain on these boards. I'm gonna go up and set the first toilet. It's a little bit of a different toilet set, so I wanted to get it on camera for you, but I'm gonna hang out down here and rotate boards for my wife in just a minute, and then I'll go up and show you that toilet. Okay guys, so here's your odd toilet. You notice there's no flat part for the closet bolts if you've ever installed a toilet before. That's because this piece here takes up that space. So basically what you do is you bolt this down with these, and that's how you attach the toilet. So we'll get this set up and see if we can get a video. Okay, so we have the wax ring down underneath it here. We have this closet flange and these ears that bolt down with a washer and a nut on each side. The idea behind this is it makes it easier to clean. I've mentioned in videos before, my wife is handicapped, so she can't bend over or stand up for long periods, things of that nature. To do this, I'm going to need my deep sockets, which are not up here right now. So I'm going to shut you down and go get those, and I'll be back. Okay folks, a couple of days have passed since my last attempt to do this, and it just had some interruptions. So anyway, and I'm hoping I got the right size sockets here. We've had some delays and some screw ups. The store in town that carries my PEX expansion fittings, and of course these nuts, are a different size. Anyway, the store in town that carries my expansion fittings, when I went in, they only had one angle valve in stock, which was a little frustrating. So I picked up that one angle valve and figured I'd do one toilet with it, only to get back here and discover that that one angle valve, even though it was in the bin for toilets and faucets, it was the the angle valve for an ice maker. So, and then I brought up my deep well socket set for this part of the equation, and I have just discovered that instead of being 1/2 inch, these nuts are 7/16. So I'm back here in my tool bag trying to dig out a 7/16 wrench. So I have no idea where any of my other deep sockets are at this point. Finally, there's my 7/16. So anyway, now that we got the right tools for the job here, this toilet, if you notice, there's no flat spot here where normally the toilet bolt would come up through here and get bolted on and cut off and everything. This is a straight-sided toilet. This is a request from my wife, who I have mentioned in other videos. She is handicapped, severe arthritis from a ATV accident several years ago, and a broken pelvis have made it so she can barely walk, and if she lives long enough, she will probably end up in a wheelchair. So anyway, the way this starts out is not much different from a standard toilet. You have the wax ring underneath this piece. Now this piece here is unique to this design toilet. So what we're going to do is we're going to cinch this piece down. It's going to take a few minutes. We're going to tighten these two nuts up. And then we'll bring you back. I'm not going to keep you here while I spend 10 minutes tightening these nuts down with a wrench. And then we'll bring you back and show you some of the other differences. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we got these brackets and nuts tightened down. And most of you are going to know this if you're going to do your own, but these toilets are what's called 12 inches on center. Means from the center of the hole in the floor to the back of the toilet is 12 inches. When you measure for that, you always allow 12.5 inches because of the drywall. Your drywall is generally going to be 1/2 inch thick. So anyway, you have these little pieces, and they, let's see here. Let me get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. These are carriage bolts, and normally when you're using a carriage bolt, this end where it goes in would be squared off, but they didn't do that. So anyway, you insert the two carriage bolts, and these retainer washers. And you want these to be aimed up at the hole in the bracket, and you'll see why here in a minute. You notice I'm spinning these on by hand. When in doubt, and I'm going to have to do it with this one, if it doesn't want to keep this piece upright, come in here with a big pair of channel locks or a pair of pliers or something and hold this piece up and give it a bit of a pinch. So it wants to fight with me, so what we're going to do here, take this side back off. Oh, see, that one's falling down now too. Just give it a little bit of a snug there. And it's still loose. So then what those pieces do is those are the pieces where you capture the toilet. So then there's, and I gotta find them. Well, here they are. Okay, so now what's supposed to happen is the base of the toilet slides down over there, and you push it down, and it's supposed to be locked in. Now, slide this over, then in theory, those little brackets we just bolted down will line up. So the toilet isn't all the way down. There, that should do it. Okay. So now, in theory, everything's supposed to be lined up in there. And these two bolts thread in on each side. I'll have to go get a straight-bladed screwdriver to finish that. Okay, now this is where it gets fun. This side is just falling off, so now I have to pull the toilet back up. I'm not a real fan of this design, I'll tell you. I prefer the old-fashioned one. Let me go grab a screwdriver. Okay, now the instructions don't show a retainer nut, but there's retainer nuts in the kit. So let me lift this back off of here. Hopefully without breaking that underneath piece. Okay. And I do believe that these are incorrect. These instructions are incorrect. Okay, I'm going to shut this down. These instructions are very, very poor. I'll show them to you when I get it done. The bolts are actually backwards because of the poor instructions.